Welcome back. Before we take Dayo and the sports, Dayo said he's used the words exactly that Mumbe that I should hold on. It's packaging so much for us in the world of sports. So before we take sports...
Baba Wumi has gotten addicted to my sports analysis, so it's...
So before we take sports, we have a guest in the house. Like I said, we'll be talking about the old dancing and dwindling of the Naira. And
week in, week out.
The factors and how it has affected Nigerians and affected the government Nigeria. So we have a guest in the house. He is Samuel Showunmi. He's a seasoned capital market professional and he works with Ion Global Markets Limited. He will be speaking with us on the factors affecting the Naira. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to Breakfast in Bed.
Thank you for having me.
You're
Welcome
welcome.
to you guys. I'm fine.
Now, can you provide an overview of the recent appreciation of the Naira and the factors that contributed to the positive developments in the last 1 week?
Oh, well, the key factors that contributed to the appreciation of the Naira, one is the positive measure that the federal government, is trying to put in place. Few weeks back, government, came up with the clearing of the backlog of, FX forward with banks. Over the course of 2-3 months, what we've been saying is the scarcity of dollar in our system, and that's, is as a result of the short supply. One thing we must understand is that we have the demand side, we have the supply side, and once the demand side is higher than the supply side, definitely the dollar will appreciate against the Naira. So what government now did was to supply, FX into the market by clearing those backlog. We have a backlog of about $6.7 billion. So government has started clearing them. At least about 14 banks now have been paid, you understand? And that has injected a lot of liquidity into the system. And that's, gave way for Naira to now start appreciating, because as people are demanding for FX, they are getting it. It is when people are demanding and they are not getting it that the Naira will suffer and the dollar will be rising against it. So that is one thing. Another thing is that government has decided to come up with executive order. The president issued executive order towards stabilizing, the price of Naira. And one thing we must understand is that the FX market, or any financial market as it were, is information driven. The amount of information that comes into the market definitely will stimulate the market, either in the positive way or the negative way, depending on the nature of the information that came in. So when government came up with the executive order that we are going to come up with reforms to stabilize the market, that's a very positive one. So people begin to have a kind of a direction towards which government wants to move. So currently, we are expecting that executive order to be gazetted so that it can take the right effect in the market. So those are the things that has actually, assisted the Naira to appreciate.
Yeah. And one other thing, what's the whole story with this Naira, ordering of Naira?
Ordering of Naira or ordering of the dollar?
Naira, obviously.
Okay, now, in the first quarter of this year, due to the the CBN policy as a den for the Naira redesign, a lot of people panic buying. A lot of people were like, now that there's going to be a face-off of the old Naira, how are we sure that we are going to have enough of this new Naira? And one thing is that Nigeria is a cash-based environment.
Yes.
You understand? So it's a cash-based environment. The market people, the artisans, the SMEs, they need cash for them to be able to go about their daily business activity. So during that period, we saw a lot of people, trying to order, because you don't know whether you are going to get adequate supply. You understand? So, and that created a lot of currency racketeering. Something that has never happened before in the history of Nigeria happened during that time, that we started using Naira to buy Naira.
Yes.
You understand? So currently now, maybe people have started, anticipating the fact that by December, you understand, by December, going by the Supreme Court, judgment, that by December, then
you can face out the
but to put a stop to that, CBN is moving, to evacuate that, order, just to let the Supreme Court know that, no, we are now extending
The
the
deadline.
period for the face-off of the old Naira note, so as to, to do away with the experience of the first quarter. So that is just what we are seeing now for now. So it is a very positive thing on the part of the CBN to quickly come out and issue a statement that we are extending this, face-off of the old Naira. So there shouldn't be panic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what impact has the Naira appreciation had in the country economy?
Economically now, to a very large extent, we haven't started seeing a huge impact. But the beauty of it is this: once Naira is rallying, dollar is coming down. It is expected that prices of goods and services should also come down. Don't forget that as soon as the dollar rallies against the Naira, you will feel the immediate impact. People will tell you, dollar has gone up. Or even pure water seller will tell you they're going to increase because dollar has gone up. So the same thing should be when we are seeing the Naira going up against the dollar. But it doesn't really happen that way because we don't have adequate price control mechanism in our economy. And that is one thing government should start working around. We are a consumption-based economy. We have the market. We have a lot of things that we can do to make life, good for ourselves. Government has a role to play in that. We, the citizen as well, we also have a role to play. The Consumer Protection, Commission has a whole lot of role to play in that space. So that by the time we start seeing the Naira appreciating and the dollar is coming down, we should start seeing the impact on our daily activities as well. So government needs to play its role there.
Okay, so in the past, let's backtrack. How have powerful Nigerians benefited from round tripping in the past?
They benefited because there was a gap in terms of control from the presidency itself. It's quite unfortunate that we got to that level where corruption has eaten so deep into our system that we don't give credence to sanity any longer. So when we're talking about powerful people, these are possibly PEP, the politically exposed people,
yes.
or the high net worth individual in the society, the head of corporations, the large corporation and all whatnot. So they benefited because what happened in the old regime was that we were practicing multiple exchange rate. And under multiple exchange rate, as good as it is for the development of local industry, it also have the bad side. The bad side is that it created a lot of arbitrage where people can buy in spot and go and sell in the future. Don't forget, FX is a derivative instrument. You understand? So, and what do we use derivative instrument for? We use them for speculation and for hedging against foreign exchange risk. So people will go to the official, window, buy through the banks, buy through the CBN, and go and sell at the black market. That was what they were doing during that period because we were using multiple. You can buy from the official, you can also get from BDC, you can also get from other sources. So that was what happened there. And in the course of doing that, a lot of people became very powerful because most of these effects that they were getting were not channeled into productive activities. Had it been they were channeled into production activities, you're going to see that we're going to have a huge chunk of output. Then inflation will come down. Inflation is when there is high demand with low output. If output is not matching, the demand, definitely price will go up. Okay. But if you have surplus from your output side, you understand, and demand is also coming in. As people are demanding, you are supplying them. There's no shortfall. Then there won't be inflation.
Okay. Now, I'm really concerned. We're concerned about the Naira because Naira is very important in doing so many things these days. Now, looking at it, the plans of the government, the steps the government have taken in the past week that has made the Naira, appreciate a bit. Do you think it can be maintained by the government? Looking at what's going on now these days, do you think it can be maintained? Is there future for the Naira?
There is a huge future for the Naira, not just for the Naira. There is a huge future, for the Nigeria economy as a whole. Okay. What government is doing is sustainable, but it has to be backed up by a lot of other policy and strategy. Now, when you're talking about exchange rate parity, like I said the other time, it is a function of your balance of trade, your import against your export. If your import is higher than your export, definitely the local currency will suffer. But once your export is more than your import, the local currency will appreciate. There will be a huge, store of value. That will trickle down to, increase in, standard of living, improvement in standard of living, because with a little naira in your hand, you can actually, accentuate your demand, purchase a lot of things, have access to a lot of services with little naira in your hand. And that is a function of, fine, my country is earning more foreign exchange that I am demanding for it. So what government need to do to support the ongoing measure is doing is that let us look inward and look at how we can reduce our propensity to import. How do we go about it? It's by supporting local manufacturer to be producing some of these imported goods.
Very good.
So if we are doing that, our import will be dropping. For instance, if you look at our annual import today, PMS constitute about 24%. Take for instance, if local, refineries get into operation, and we are now refining PMS locally, it means that we are going to drop our import by 24%.
Wow.
So
Mr. Shomi, we might need to go now. We need to go now, but we will invite you some other time to come and tell us more about this. It's interesting.
Yes, it is.
Knowing that the Naira has a future and the economy has a future.
Definitely.
Many thanks for coming, Mr. Samuel Shomi.
Thanks for this
Thank you so
analysis.
much.
Markets professional
It's my
and
pleasure.
works with Iron Global
Global
Markets
Markets,
Limited.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you very
coming.
much, sir.
Thank you so much.
I'm very happy to be here.
So we'll go on a short break and we'll be back with Dayo now. You're ready with your sports, right?
I know, I'm
we'll
ready.
be back with Dayo and the world of sports.
Give you some breakfast in that honey, breakfast in that cocoa. Girl, you're the love of my life, and I excited tonight to give you some breakfast in that honey.